Hi guys, welcome back to Elevate by Any Means. I am Danielle. If you don't know who I am, please hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. You guys, thank you so much to my subscribers. I really appreciate you liking and subscribing to my videos and watching my videos. Thank you so much for being here for me, okay? Now, today, we're going to be talking about being at peace in the midst of chaos. In the midst of chaos, where we should remain at peace. And it's not the easiest thing to do. I got a little fuzzy thing from my jacket. It's not the easiest thing to do, right? There are so many people who may be going through a lot of things, like with the prices of everything, with everything that's going on, kids, family, jobs, trying to be an entrepreneur, everything on whatever it is, right? Like there's so many scenarios and situations that are different for everyone. But I want us to get to a space where we are holding space for those people, that we are able to uplift others, that we are able to be in the space where we understand what exactly is happening in the midst of this quote unquote chaos. Now, there are so many things that we could actually break down and talk about today, but the one thing I want to talk about is holding your peace, being able to hold your peace in the midst of chaos, because it's so much going on out here. But we are not the things outside of ourselves. We are not the things outside of ourselves. I'm going to say it again. We are not the thing outside of ourselves. We can only control us. We can only control the things that we desire, right? So, in the midst where people are focusing on the things that are in the negative state, they have to deal with that themselves. So, we can live in the same space and live in two different realities, okay? Now, people choose to focus on the things that bother them the most. A lot of the times it's like an attraction. It's like that firefly to that fire, right? It's like a moth to a flame, right? So when we're going through things and then there's things that are happening, what is our deal? Like what are we doing out here, right? I think it's important that we all get to a state where we are just literally, I mean, literally holding that space for other people and speaking life, speaking positivity and life over those people. Because a lot of the times we don't always understand what's happening, and neither do other people. But at the end of the day, if we can just somehow, just a little bit, hold a small amount of space for other people, it leaves more room for our own self growth, right? So you thinking that every time you hold that door for somebody, it's just me being nice. But it's literally you growing. Each and every time you do something kind for someone else, you're literally expanding, right? So when we're in that state and we're thinking about it, right? Like when we are truly in that state where we are trying to upgrade and uplift others or upgrade ourselves, there are certain things that happen in our life that we may not always understand. We may not always want to be in that state where it's like, okay, well, I'm always doing this for someone else, but you should always make sure you're holding that space for self too. So I am big on that. Like I am very big on self-care. You have to take care of yourself in whatever capacity that looks like. You may work out. You may just want to listen to music and relax. You may want to take bubble baths, whatever that is for you. Just make sure it's in vibration with the person that you're trying to be. Okay? I'm not saying that going out to clubs and stuff isn't all that great and all that stuff. Me personally, It's not for me. That's just me. You may be able to do that and still like somewhat hold a vibration, but you have to think about the places that you are, the vibration and everything that you're literally passing on, because it literally, things, the music, the food, things like that change your frequency and your vibration. And it's not even something that you have to work to do. It just happens. The frequency in the songs that you're listening to. If you're listening to a lot of songs about, you know, fighting and calling each other out his name and killing and stuff like that, you have to think that has a frequency. Though the music that's on the radio has a frequency, the frequency music, the angel numbers, all these things, all these other things, crystals, all these things have frequency as well. So you have to think about where it is that you want to be in your life, right? What is it that you're trying to do at the end of the day? Because you can't have one foot in, one foot out. It's either or. Trying to be in the middle leads to a lot more chaos in your life, because now you're trying to be forced to choose, are you going this way or are you going that way? You can't be in the middle. There's no middle. It's left or right. You going this path or you going that path? Now we can always open up new paths with our ideals and ideologies and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like you have to make a choice in which path that you're choosing to take. And me personally, I choose the path of peace, because I would rather not communicate with someone and still think positively and pray over them and stuff like that in order to keep my peace, especially if I know this person is not in vibration with where I'm trying to go and the things that I'm trying to do. It seems harsh sometimes, but at the end of the day, when I give all of me to someone and that energy is not reciprocated, it leaves me in a position where I am on shaky ground, because then you feel like, oh, that person is supposed to return the same energy that I gave to them. And a lot of the times people are not in that frequency. Sometimes people feel like, oh, well, that's your fault because you should have not did this, or you should have said no, or you should have, because there are people out here that do that. Okay, so we have to be in a space. Let me move this back a little bit. I don't want to be shaking the camera. We have to be in the space where we are able to be in peace in the chaos. And that starts with self, right? So thinking everything outside of you, right? You're in the middle. This is outside, this is outside. You're in the middle. Being in that middle space where you are blocking out the things that are happening continuously outside of you. This going on, that going on, just visualize anything outside of you that is happening. What is your choice? You stepping outside, or you staying in the center where you are keeping yourself calm and in a space of peace and love and joy and abundance? Like the things that you're calling in, right? Excuse me. Sometimes people say that you can have it all, and that's cool. But in reality, can you really though? You can't have the ratchetness and then try to be righteous. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's literally not the same. Okay? So when we're thinking about it, we have to put ourselves in a space where we are constantly thinking about the growth, the things that we're doing. Like I have came so far from where I used to be, okay? I have came so far from that angry, unwilling person that I used to be. I literally used to put myself in a position where I felt like I needed to protect myself so much, to the point where if you even look at me a certain way, I was throwing attitude and shade your way. And I think all of us go through that, because it depends on like what you've been through in your life. Like I literally carried so much hurt, so much pain, so much anxiety, so much anger, so much anger. with me. I'm no longer in that space because I literally had to sit down and tell myself, like, hey, where is it that you're trying to go? What is it that you're trying to do? Whatever that is for you, you're not getting there this way. And we have to sit down and talk to ourselves like that. Like, what you doing? What you plan on doing? What is your plan? What you got going on? And why you keep doing X, Y, or Z? We literally have to put ourselves there. And every time you can be honest and real with yourself, growth happens. Growth happens, right? So staying in that state of peace while continuously growing, continuously trying to figure out a way to be the best version of yourself is absolutely crucial. It's so crucial because at this point in time, where we're going, we're in two separate realities. You have people on the timeline where all this negative is happening, and you have people on the timeline where everything they want and desire is happening. So you have to choose what you're trying to do. Where are you trying to go? Are you trying to be the best version of yourself and you're steadily moving towards that goal? Or are you that person that say, yeah, I want that, but how am I supposed to get that if nobody supports me? How am I supposed to get there when ain't nobody gave it to me? How am I supposed to get there when this is not happening in my way? Because there are lots of things that happen that may be not exactly what you planned. The only thing that you can plan is what your actions are going to be to the reality or the thing that is happening at that time. If you are in a state of trying to figure out, what am I doing? Why is this happening? Then this part is really crucial for you. Because you need to be sitting yourself down and taking out a piece of paper and telling yourself, what is it that I desire? Here's an example for you, right? I want a mansion. I want 128 acres of land. I want $750 million. I want, that dream car and space for my venue. I want, like, anything that you want there, write it down. When you're done writing that part down, underneath that, what I want you to do is I want you to be real with yourself. And I mean real with yourself, because some people, they cannot be real with yourself. They cannot. So here's the thing. You have to actually write down what you're doing to get there. If you're saying like, oh, well, I haven't done anything yet, but I will eventually, that's a bad habit that needs to be broken. Break it. Break it, tear it up, throw it in the fire. Because at the end of the day, that's not going to get you anywhere. Even when you don't know the direction you're going, even if you have to start over 1,000,000 times, do it. Because each and every time you're going to get a little bit better, and a little bit better. And then eventually when you look back, you're going to see how far you came. You're going to see how far you came. But you can't do that. You can't do that unless you're in a state of peace with where you're trying to go. You got to be in a state of peace in where you're trying to go. It does not happen overnight. Everything you're working on comes from here. Everything you desire is in here. Now you have to figure out, once you get it here, how to make it into reality, right? And there's plenty of videos. Oh, I manifested this. I manifested that. That's cool. But without the self-development, how are you going to keep it? Without money management or financial courses or something that's going to get you there, how are you going to keep it? That's cool. But when you go buy that land, when you get that opportunity to have that land, have you done your research enough to understand the taxes on the land and the type of land? What makes it a viable land? Can you farm on the land? Have you done any research or putting any work into the things that you're actually working on? This is where your mindset should be. This is where your mindset should be. Because at the end of the day, if you're not putting the work in and you're just manifesting, a lot of these people are not keeping these things that they're manifesting. Matter of fact, it's like it pops in and pops out. Because now they got it, but they can't keep it. So it's important that you understand, like, working on yourself is the biggest part of that manifestation. When you can release the pain, release the hurt, release the aggravation, and when you can release, that's when everything happens and the universe opens up to what it is that you want even faster. People say, oh yeah, I manifested this overnight. Oh yeah, I did this, I did that. That's great. That is amazing. However, what they're not telling you is that they're actually doing the work behind the scenes. They're not just saying, oh, I just put a piece of paper under my pillow and I wrote the number on it I wanted. I wrote this, I wrote that, and I got it. And I ain't did nothing to get it. I ain't did no research. I ain't did no homework on it. I ain't put in no work towards it. And I ain't have to put in no work to keep it. That all, if anybody ever tells you that, it is a lie. Everything you do has consequences and repercussions, okay? If you're doing something, excuse me, if you're doing something that's great, then it'll work great for you, right? Then it'll work great for you. However, if you're not putting in work and you're just expecting to receive and you're not doing any work, it's going to seem like forever. It's going to seem like forever and it's going to feel like it's never happening, okay? You can't just do the physical work. You have to do the mental work. You have to do the work on your heart space. You have to do the work on your throat chakra. You have to do the work on your visualization, the stuff that's happening inside your head. Like, you have to do more. You can't sit and wait and hope and wish. You have to put the work in. You have to develop that peace and that alignment that's happening through your body. Because that's what's creating the magic or the reality and everything that's happening outside of you, right? That's what's creating it all. It's easy for people to make videos and say these things like, oh yeah, I manifested this, I did that. But ask the questions that need to be asked. How is it that you're able to just manifest this, and that? They're reading books. They're doing their homework on it. They are literally studying it. They're trying to keep their thoughts in alignment and check. If you're one of those people that struggle with your thought forms, listen, every time you have a negative thought, you can put a rubber band on your wrist and pop it. That's the simplest form. That's the simplest thing. Every time I have a negative thought form or pattern that's happening, what I like to do is say, you know what? I am releasing it. I am releasing it. Or I could just simply say, no, thank you. Something I'm visualizing or pops into my head and I'm thinking about it and I notice that I'm thinking about it. I literally stop what I'm doing and say, no, thank you. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep it in mind, because at the end of the day, it is literally going to be something you have to put the work into. Build that peace, that structure around you so that you can be at peace in the midst of all chaos. Anything that's happening, build that peace within yourself so that you can have it all. You can literally have everything and anything you want. All right? So if you have not, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Leave me a comment, put a heart emoji or something, and let me know what you think. What are you working on? What are you building up? What are you developing peace in? In what areas in your life? Let's talk about it, okay? So leave me a like and comment down below. Until next time, guys, peace.